suction pressure, it just graded for, if you like, egg friendly, so to speak. Okay, they don't cost much at all. You could pick up that one new for about £1,500. So in terms of comparatively to other IVF equipment, that's one of the cheaper ones. Okay, so yeah, so I think you've got to have a dedicated suction pump made for an IVF lab. So shall we go to, very briefly, the embryology part of that, okay? Because I think if we're going to be sequential here, so egg collection embryology, and I'm just going to ask Nkiru here, who is a trainee embryologist, to just take us through step by step, don't be too technical, what happens after you pick up that test tube from the vet and the, yeah.
What normally happens is, first, your laminar flow in the embryology lab must have been cleaned up. The microscope for scanning your eggs is already set and on. Your dishes are already prepared. The dishes where the embryos or the eggs are going to be cultured, a kind of a medium that is almost the same with the body where they are going to survive. So as soon as you get the tubes from the theater, the tubes are handed, are poured the follicular fluid, because what they normally suction out are aspirates or follicular fluids. They are poured out into a scanning dish, and the scanning dish is viewed under a microscope to search for eggs. That is done by the embryologist. Each and every egg he finds, he picks up, transfers it into a medium. Different mediums are used to culture embryos. So he transfers the egg into a medium. That is done until all the tubes that are taken into the lab are scanned. By the time the people in the theater say they are done with egg collection, the fluids are no longer coming, the embryologist would have been able to pick all the eggs that he has seen into the medium. Now those eggs are now washed with the same medium in the dish. This is done to remove the blood or the follicular, there's what we call cumulus around the egg. This medium that is used contains anticoagulants because blood coagulates, so it takes out every kind of blood around those eggs, kind of clean it up, more like washing. After that is done, it is transferred into a different fresh medium. I hope that's clear. Yeah. Good. After that is done, it is then taken into the incubator. While all these things are happening, you try to maintain the temperature of this egg by keeping it on a warmer, 37 degrees room temperature, same as that of an incubator. So after it's been washed, it's now taken into the incubator, and then you go back to your sperm sample, because prior to the egg collection, it is assumed that the husband or the partner of this woman whose eggs are being collected would have produced his sperm sample. Before the egg collection, these sperm samples should have been prepared down, depending on when the samples are brought. So there's what we call sperm preparation, or you can call it sperm washing. We use two different medias for this. The first one, we have different ways of sperm preparation. There's the swim-up method, there's the density gradient method. The method that we use here most of the time is density gradient. And density gradient And density gradient is a medium on its own that is specially prepared. We have different companies that prepare their density gradient. Some companies actually give you your percentage. There's the 80%, 45%, that's upper and lower. Then the one we use here is highly scientific most of the time, very expensive and updated. It doesn't have any value, but it's going to indicate to tell you what should be put upper or lower. So, first of all, you prepare your sperm by adding this density gradient and your sperm. You kind of mix it together. Different volumes are used. I don't really want to go into details on how that is done. You spin the first time. After the first spinning, you take out the upper. Yes, you centrifuge the sample, and then you take out the upper part of the whole combined sample, which is the density gradient and the sperm sample.